And we're live. Swirl King here. You're now tuned into Solo TV 84, and I'm your host, Swirl King, with a special guest, Marcus A. Brown. How you doing today, Mr. Brown?
Yo, what's good, bro? I'm good. How you feeling?
Man, I'm feeling good, man. How's the weather today in the Shy?
It's actually a good day, man. And man, I'm sorry to say, I'm just sitting in the crib. It's Sunday, so I usually do laundry today, but it's supposed to be decent today and tomorrow if we don't get rain tomorrow.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Now, Marcus, a lot of people know about you. Some don't. Tell the people who you are, man, because you're somewhat of a social media YouTube legend in a sense.
Yeah. Hey, I'll take that as a compliment, bro. I appreciate it. I just think I'm a internet troll at this point, but a few people know me. That's all. I do.
All right. So
my bad. Go ahead.
So can you tell us who you are? Like, how did you come to be in the position? Because you kind of have a history before YouTube with going viral on World Star and whatnot.
Yeah. Before the Red Pill, before the Manosphere, I was into the rap game in Chicago music rap scene. So, a few people know me from that. I was on World Star a couple of times from a Chicago freestyle I did. A Link Card song, which was kind of me and my more ratchet days. And but my most viral video was a video with me catching ex of mine cheating. So that was in 2012. People would know the video when they see it. Like, dude with braids walk in, catch your girl looking ratchet, dude getting dressed, trying to get out the gym. Y'all know when y'all see it, but that video to this day is still floating around. I speak on it, I guess, when people ask me about it, but other than that, like, every time it pop up, it kind of get attention, and I still get followers from that. I don't know. I answer your questions, whatever you want to know about it, but
well, I'm not really here to talk about the video much. I know that you've discussed it in detail before, but I guess my question to you about the video before we keep it moving is, what was your reaction? I mean, obviously, because I think I saw it a long time ago. I'm not sure. But were you just like shocked? I mean, tell me what was going through your mind. Because a lot of dudes would have thought at first, let me get that, let me get something, but you were like, nah, I'm recording this. And
no, I wasn't really shocked. I wasn't really shocked because I already knew what it was. It was more of like a clarity, still salty type of. I was more salty than anything. Like, anybody would be shitty in that situation, but I kind of saw it before it happened. I saw it coming, so it was just a matter of seeing it with my own eyes. And at that time, I didn't know how I wanted to respond. I didn't know what I want. Any dude in that situation could easily get into it with, oh girl, start throwing hands on her, start throwing hands on the dude, start breaking shit. And I've said this before, like, I know brothers, I know relatives that have done that, and it placed them in some undesirable situations. But I ain't do that. All I did was just pull out the phone and say, look at this, like, y'all see this shit. And I was doing videos all the time anyway, so that's all that was the first thing that came to my mind, like, hey, look at this shit. Right. I didn't think it was gonna go viral. I didn't think it was gonna blow up the way that it did. But
now I want to know, how do you go from a viral video to MGTOW? Where how do you go from one end of the spectrum of being a simp basically to where you are at now?
Well, that was part of a turning point for me, but it wasn't the entire story. Like I said, that was just the incident that people saw. After that, I ended up getting back with shorty. So I had a lot of being lost in the
sauce. No.
Yeah, I had a lot of simping in that era, you know what I'm saying? It took that to get me out of that jam and to get me out of that way of thinking. That's all. But what was the question again? Like, what led me to MGTOW?
Exactly, yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, like I said, I had back and forths with old girl, and each time it got more and more dramatic, or toxic, I should say. And then it came to the point where I had to distance myself. I was staying with her in the what we call the baby mama buildings in the Marshfield Gardens. So we don't really have the projects out here no more. It's kind of like by the old Cabrini Green area. But anybody in Chicago, they know what Marshfield Gardens is. It's like the ratchet little hole in the middle of Old Town, which is a nice neighborhood. But if a chick says if she says she's staying Old Town, then she might be living decent. But if she's staying Marshfield Gardens, like that's where I was at. That's the ratchet little hole in the wall, the baby mama buildings as they call it. But yeah, we every time we had our own little episodes, it got more and more toxic, more and more dangerous actually for both of us. I ended up moving back with family, and that allowed me to have time and distance. And even though I was still involved with her, because I had to like go through a number of transactions trying to get shit out of her crib. But it was one summer, the summer of 2013, where I just kind of drowned myself in work, and I came across Tom Likas. This when I was actually looking for relationship advice, because like I said, bro, like I've been simping for half of my life, damn it, over half of my life. So I was still in the sauce, if not trying to save a relationship that wasn't gonna work, just trying to understand what I could do better. Because at that time, I was always kind of beating myself up, like, what am I doing wrong, or why am I always suffering these type of cycles and patterns and shit like that. So I was looking for relationship advice, and then I came across Tom Likas, which Tom Likas, I wouldn't necessarily call him a MGTOW. He don't claim to be a MGTOW, but that was like the introduction to the red pill for me. And then from there, from Tom Likas, man, I'm telling you, like that whole summer, I was in a fucked up jam. I was in debt. I had even more of a financial burden from that breakup. I was back in my mama crib, like who want to be back in OG crib, and I just had to work myself out of that hole. So I spent that whole summer pretty much getting my bread up and soaking up all that information from Tom Likas. I went to A Voice for Men at the time. I can't even remember his old channel was The Happy Misogynist.
Okay.
Now he go by Paul Elam. That's his name. I was listening to Paul Elam.
Yeah, he's on A Voice for Men. Yeah,
Stardust, Spetsnaz, Barbarossa, like all the classic MGTOW. So I kind of came into the manosphere under that era of MGTOW, and from there, once I started getting my situation decent, and I've had not only a girl from the video, but other relationships, I was able to deal with these relationships in more of like a observation type of perspective, and it just kind of solidified what I was hearing in the manosphere. I went through my red pill rage like everybody else, but after you, I don't stay mad for long, you know. So after a while, I got over it. After a while, my living situation improved, and there really wasn't no reason for me to be upset about it. But hold on one second. My bad. That's one thing about the summer. Like, we so thirsty out here. Like, soon as we get a day where it ain't freezing or it ain't a blizzard, then everybody outside. But what I was saying, yeah, once I start getting my situation improved, I started making videos and I started speaking on it. And when Sandman did A Mangina to MGTOW, he did a video on my story. That's when I just got a large following from the manosphere, from the MGTOW community. And that's when I also got a lot of backlash from the music scene, from people that know me personally, from people that knew my ex personally. So I kind of, all this flagship, all this trying to shut pages down and censorship, like I went through all of that a few years ago, what people going through now.
Now, but before we get into all that, tell me more about the music scene, because you were kind of, I mean, local, weren't you?
Yeah, I was
locally.
I was like everybody else, just a local Chicago rapper. I rapped in a few groups. I rapped. Well, I had my own guys that I rapped with, and then I started doing music on my own. That started gaining traction. So I'm kind of backtracking, but since we talk about music, that's how I met old girl from the World Star video, because she was a rapper too at the time. So that's kind of how we hooked up. We was part of that subculture, the whole Chicago rap scene. I also did camera work. I had a YouTube channel, FUH TV, and I did like a lot of behind the scenes footage, like when rappers would come into town, or I would do like party coverage. And basically, like before Instagram and Snapchat and all that, I was the event coverage. I was the person that would show up to these open mics and try to, you know, give them a boost in social media and help them get
so basically you were the photographer of the club, so to speak.
Yeah, like I was
taking pictures
rapper.
of the girls and all of that.
Yeah, I was underdog. I was like shoe shine boy, you know, like you know how they kind of Kanye, I call it Kanye West, like they Kanye West in a sense. He was a rapper, but wasn't nobody really checking for him. They was like, dude, you make raw beats though. Like I know you rap, but what's up with the beats though? And that's kind of how my status was. I was like decent with the rap scene. People would fuck with me to that extent, but then at the same time, it was like, hey, what's up with the videos? So that was where my status came from.
Okay.
Yeah, that was pretty much it. And I think part of what was funny about the World Star thing, like I said, if you just look up Marcus A. Brown on World Star, you'll see a couple of videos, like videos of my own and videos I helped edit. When I did the World Star video, like that was some real time shit that happened. I was like, hey, look what just happened. And everybody thought I was fucking like it was a stage. They was like, man, that shit was funny as hell, Jim. hey, it is, but at the same time, it wasn't, because I was like, nah, that happened for real. But everybody thought it was like a stage. It was like, you smart, G, that was genius. I'm like, nah, that shit really happened, but you know, it is what it is. As I start, I'm gonna say this too, like once I took the red pill, so to speak, I just kind of turned off from everything, from everybody. So that's when I started kind of speaking out on my opinions on the Chicago music scene, on payola in general. Like I was talking about a lot of shit that motherfuckers didn't like. They was trying to shut me up from, like I said, from people that knew me personally, from my ex, her family, from the rappers and the DJs out here. So I just kind of had everybody in my head 2013, 2014.
So you were exposing the rap industry.
I was, yeah. I mean, it's common knowledge now. Like everybody know, people pay to get their songs on the radio, or they pay to open up for larger artists. You can pay to get on World Star. You know, I've done this myself, so it ain't like I'm lying. Like I've done it, so I know you doing it. And once I took the red pill, once I kind of changed directions with my priorities, it didn't really become a priority to me. You know, I didn't have to kiss ass to these people to fit in. And I just kind of I just started letting it out. Like just started talking about whatever was on my mind. And you can see what's going on in the manosphere right now. Like with the whole swirl movement. We could talk about that too, but like all of the censorship that's going on now, like I was dealing with that years ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago. So that's all that was.
Hey, hold up. Hey, do you hear that echo, Marcus?
No, I don't hear it.
Okay. All right. Well, go ahead. Keep talking. So you were dealing with censorship before, you know, most of us are dealing with it now. Tell us why were they trying to censor you? Was it the music industry?
It's the same. It's the same shit, bro. It's the same shit, different day. The same reason they trying to censor y'all, you know. And shout out to all the larger channels. Like I kind of fell back from everything from the manosphere. I'm still involved in the chats, and I still make donations and share people's videos and whatnot. But I ain't really been producing as much content on my own. But the same reason they censoring the larger channels now, it's the same thing they was doing. Like anytime you exposing somebody's fuckery, or you exposing something that, you know, is a facade, it's a game. Right. The people who playing that game, they don't necessarily want people to know all that. Like for example, even with the music thing, I made a blog, and I'm resubmitting it to the Negro Manosphere. I made a blog called "The Truth About Local Rappers." Like that shit, bro. My phone was off the hook. I'm looking at what up, SPI. But yeah, when I made The Truth About Local Rappers, like that kind of blacklisted me from a lot of people that I used to rock with, because I was talking about And I ain't named no names. I just was saying, like, look, if you want to get on the radio, this how you do. You could pay this person. If you want to get on World Star, you can be ratchet because that's all they do is make motherfuckers look bad. But you can use it as a form. You can use that to your advantage if you're willing to take the consequences of them exploiting you in that fashion. And or shit, even features. Like I paid for features and all, like everything that people doing now. People know about it now, but this I was saying this.
Now, the big story now obviously is ghostwriting with the Drake situation.
Oh, yeah.
Did you expose stuff like that?
No, not necessarily, because I would like to think that a lot of the rappers out here write their own content. No, that wasn't really the taboo thing to say. Like the taboo thing was part of me and you talked off air too, and I was telling you like part of my blue pill days was my priorities being messed up, my financial priorities, my overextending myself to people who ain't give a fuck. But once I started getting my shit together, I was just looking at other people struggling unnecessarily, and a lot of the local rappers, they used to focus on like quality. Like you had engineers finessing you, saying that, oh well, you know, your shit ain't mixed right. You need a better mixing, which, you know, that's debatable. But in this day and age, if your shit decent enough, like ain't no ratchet chick in the club finna be twerking like, oh, you know, this shit ain't mixed right. I don't like to. Nah, if your shit raw, like people gonna fuck with it. But you got everybody trying to finesse the local rapper. You got the producers, the fucking DJs, the people who call themselves managers, the major platforms like World Star and Boss of All Star Hip Hop, all the major platforms that artists want to get some type of notoriety on. Even with the local radio stations, the DJs there to take your bread just to give you like one verse and a hook to spin. Like that's been before our time. That's always exists, even in other genres of music. But the reason I had people in my head, because these are niggas that's struggling to do this. You know what I'm saying? These are people who got mouths to feed, or they behind on their rent, or they, you know, catching a bus and shit. But they up in $600 and $500 a video for World Star, or $200 to, you know, like if that's between me and you, then however you get your money, if you're gonna grind, that's cool. But imagine like your baby mama finding out about that shit, or or a motherfucker that you owe them money, and they and they finding out that you spending this type of bread for an image, for, you know, something that once you start, you got to keep it going. Like the one thing I will say about the drill music, and I'm talking about more so like Chief Keef era. I don't really know who out now, but like I think they should have a more organic way of growing, because it was based off of bloodshed. It was based off of drama and bullshit. Like Jap made a video on this too. Like the Chicago rappers out here, when they be beefing with each other and it's real murders taking place based off some shit that a motherfucker said on a rap, on a song. Like it's people paying their lives. It's costing people lives to get on. You know what I'm saying? Like if one of your guys get killed, all of a sudden you got some spotlight that you ain't had before. That's real fucked up, but you know, it plays a factor. And I didn't speak on all that, because that came a little after the fact. I was just talking about how, hey, if you wonder why you hear these whack ass songs on the radio, especially with local radio, and you like, how the fuck is these people getting on the radio? Like, even if it's only for a verse and a half or a verse and a hook, that's how.
Now, let me ask you this. I'm not sure. Somebody says they can't hear in the chat. Can y'all hear us? I'm pretty sure if they couldn't hear us, they would have said something. But you exposing the local rap scene that basically had you blackballed. I mean, did that finish your career basically?
No. I mean, because we dealing with the age of the internet now, so I mean, anybody could build their own audience on their own, which is beautiful. But in regards to Chicago politics, it just pissed a lot of people off. I mean, I could still go to these open mics, and it's certain people I rock with, but right now this is like a new generation. All the old rappers I know, they still doing their thing, but they trying to catch up with the drill movement. And these are like people in their late 20s and 30s, you know what I'm saying? Like the younger crowd, they may not have that burden. They may not have to deal with as many gatekeepers as the people in me and Jap era. But no, it wasn't really the way I looked at it. Shit, how you gonna blacklist somebody that's blacklisted already? Wasn't nobody fucking with me to begin with, because they was Kanye West and me. So it was really more of a moment of relief or a moment of clarity, I guess. Because that's shit that for me, I say for me personally, that's what the red pill does. It ain't just about women. It's about taking your own life in the direction you want to take it in, and not holding yourself to expectations or obligations of people or entities that oppress you. You know, so
right.
that was just another fact of that was like another facet of some simp shit in a sense, because there's a lot of rappers that's simping for the Chicago gatekeepers, put it like that.
Right. Okay, that's deep. That's deep. Let's go back to the censorship. Clearly, you are not on the list, but you were dealing with, censorship issues a couple of years ago.
Right.
And as you're probably aware, I call them the Yaya Oompa Loompa sisterhood. I know other brothers call them other things, but basically, from what you know of it, do you think, Marcus, and I want you to keep it all the way 100, do you think these women have a point? Are they being bullied? Do they have a case? What is your thoughts on the list and this buffoonery that's going on?
I think that's exactly what it is, buffoonery. I think the list is a form, and I'm not trying to keep getting all political and stuff, but the list, from what I see, is like a direct example of fascism. This is like a group of individuals coming together to create a witch hunt. And from what I've seen, I follow them. I look into what they're doing, and all they're doing is like throwing a bunch of names in a bucket. I did speak on it before. As soon as I found out about the list, I jumped to that. I jumped up to the booth and I was like, man, I'm gonna make a video. I posted a video. Some of the subscribers saw it. It's called the 5 Ways to Combat YouTube Censorship, and I ended up taking it down because I didn't have a whole story of what was going on. Like, the thing about the list is true, and the thing about the ways to combat censorship, we could discuss that too. But I was proud to, I gotta say this too, I was proud to see like a lot of brothers was already on the same page.
Right.
Y'all doing all the channels on that list, like y'all doing exactly what y'all supposed to do. Y'all got it. I don't really need to repeat what's already known, but no, I think the people that's doing that, they just want to censor the black male's perspective, because you don't see them doing that towards the rappers that's degrading women. You don't see them doing that towards the non-black channels, manosphere channels, and you don't see them even doing that towards other women that are a bad reflection of black women.
Right.
They specifically looking for black male YouTubers, and if that's what they want to do, cool. But they gonna open up a can
and Salmon and Veganator, who have been somewhat outspoken against swirling, which I find a little ironic or coincidental.
I shout out to Ian on I talked about this on Facebook, and Ian, he terms it the first right to refusal. So that's kind of what I see they gripes with Sandman and Veganator about. Like, first rights to refusal is, and it could be men or women, but basically they want to be the people that's in position to turn you away or to reject you. They want to cast rejection on you, but they don't want you to be the first one to do it to them. So if you get, like, for example, even looking at your profile picture, they could be black chicks, they could be they could be light-skinned women, they could be biracial or non-black, whatever. It make them feel some type of way that you established the first right to refusal. And it may not even be a real refusal. You may still love black women, you may still date black
facts.
But in their mind, the way they interpret that is, you can't do this to us. We can do this to you, but you can't do this to us. And that's really what they rage is about towards, like, not only the black male YouTubers, but Sandman, Veganata, and any other manosphere channel that criticizes black women only. Like if you listen to the German, the Australian, the Canadian MGTOW, like they just talk about women in general, or they may be speaking specifically on a region. That was one of the things that I loved about early MGTOW. What we call the classical age of MGTOW, I guess. But yeah, they spoke more along their region or their country, you know, and that kind of dispelled the whole mythical unicorn fallacy of meeting women abroad. That don't mean like you shouldn't explore your options, but it was a conversation among men from different nations that ain't on their radar. Like only thing that's on these flaggers radars is, like, for example, this conversation right now. I might not be on the list because I don't produce content like that. I'm not even really that active on YouTube.
Hey, you might be on the list after this video. Right. They're like,
that's all I was gonna say. They're
like, yo,
who is
this Marcus Brown dude? Put him on the list, girl. Put him on the list.
Stone him. Like, yeah, I might be on the list now. And I'm already taking measures for that too with the backup channel, the MAB Experience Uncensored. Like, what I'm gonna end up doing is posting all my manosphere content on that. And I'll put it in a playlist on this channel I'm on now, the MAB Experience. But brothers already like, yeah, let me say what I was gonna say on the video anyway, on the video that I taken down. Like, start building websites. We already got that going on with the Negro Manosphere. Shout out to O'Shea, Jab, Angry Man. They all working on their own platforms outside of YouTube. So y'all already knew what to do there. Kind of changing directions from the what's the word for it? The AdSense to the super chats. Like, that's a better way. Not only would y'all get y'all money in a faster way up front, and it's a fan funded source of income, but shit, you don't even really have to monetize your videos. That'll kind of take you off of the radar for the YouTube, the advertisers. Because Angry Man spoke on this already. Like, all of the chicks, all of the sleaze stacks all the sleaze stacks doing is riding the coattails of censorship on a larger level. And what they either don't realize or don't want to acknowledge until it come and bite them on the ass, is like, they subject to these same new restrictions. So I mean, they can go on these flag wars if they want, but all it takes is for them to violate these guidelines too. And, you know, even though we could take the high and mighty road, like, nah, realistically, I feel like fight fire with fire. If that's the game they want to play, because that's the only way they're gonna stop.
Right.
And what's crazy is, you know, they've initiated this, but once it comes back to haunt them, they'll turn around and pretend to be the victims about it.
I think,
then all of a sudden we'll care about you know, freedom of speech and being able to express ourselves freely. Like, they don't care about it. They don't care about free speech.
Not when it comes to us, only when it comes to them, and for them to be able to push their narrative, so that way they look good. The you know, the sleaze stacks or the Oompa Loompa, I call them lizards. The lizard brand looks good.
The reptilians, you know what I mean? Yeah, because on the public face, they the victim. On the public face, in the public eye, they the protected classes that needs to be, you know, that you already hear them calling for all simps, calling for all white knights to come to their aid and relief, you know, but nobody sees the reptile face behind us. Like, we speaking on it because we've lived, we've been, some of us been through divorces. Some of us have been the product of a single mother home or a divorce home. So we've seen families be destabilized in front of our own eyes, you know. Like, every brother on here ain't just some dude in his mama's basement talking shit. Like, it's a lot of respectable men that's contributing to this community, and they don't want to see that because for so long they've had control of the narrative.
Right. I mean, all I have to say is, you know,
I mean, my bad, go ahead.
For me personally, you know, when I was on the list, it didn't really surprise me. I think what surprised me is how high they put me on the list. And
yeah, it was like flattering, like, damn.
Right. And Jab said it best. You know, he said it on, when I spoke with Jab on my stream a week ago, he said, if you're not on the list, you ain't popping. So take it as a compliment. And one thing I found crazy though is that, you know, I started going through my material, and you know, you would figure that they would be happy, right? Since I was talking about swirling, and I hate that term, but you know, that they would be happy that I was talking about that. But they were angry at me.
I'm telling you, bro, Marcus. First rights of refusal. That's what it is. Like, they supposed to do that. You ain't supposed to do that. Like, who the fuck is this guy? He ain't supposed to be swirling or, you know, and it just really shows the hypocrisy of it all, of everything that you're talking about.
And here's the thing, Marcus, and this is a question I got for them. If you are swirling, right, and I'm swirling, wouldn't you be happy that I'm swirling? You know what I'm saying? Wouldn't you be happy that I'm not pursuing you? Wouldn't you be like, you know what? I'm glad this dude is swirling. Let him go on his way. I don't want this dude.
No, really, it's just that was a good field test, I would say. And I'm not saying that we should just jump on the bandwagon literally because somebody else do, you know, playing follow the leader. But that was an excellent field test to look for some type of congruence. Like, if it's okay for you, and that's a good way I'll measure everything in life at this point. If it's okay for you to do something, let me see if it's okay if I do it. And I used to be criticized, like in past relationships. I didn't know none of this game. I ain't know none of the red pill talk, none of the things that I've learned from the manifest. So I ain't really learned about emotional manipulation or double standards. So that's a good way to measure whether somebody full of shit or not. Like, if you do something, it's cool for now. Let me see if I can do that same thing. And if we can't, if I can't do it, we're gonna have a problem. I used to be called petty for that, but okay, now I be petty. Shit, I'll be petty God. Because I want to know, like, if you swirling, can I swirl? And if not, who deems it okay for you to do, but not for me? It is something I gotta say, bro, because I'm looking at your profile picture. Like, this shit is fun. It's genius, bro. It's genius. Like, if you look at what's going on, kind of.
And it's funny, Marcus, that you get it, because before I was Swirl King a few days ago, and I particularly picked this picture for a reason.
Because it's triggering.
You know what I mean, it's exactly.
You know, and I'm looking at the sisters. These are some nice looking sisters. I would say that they biracial because I mean, just on me on the outside looking in. But even with that, even if you dating a light skinned sister, even if you dating a foreign sister, like a sister of color from another country, like it's always gonna be a problem. They always gonna find something to complain about, whether it's like colorism or brothers is color struck, but it's okay for y'all to swirl. Like, it's just so many holes in the argument, G. Like, I could laugh at it, but the reason I like your picture and the reason I like the term Swirl King is because it's the same. It's satire. You know what I'm saying? Right. I don't know if you really would promote interracial dating or not. Me personally, I don't see nothing wrong with it. I'm just not into using it to besmirch my own people or other people. You know what I'm saying? If you're gonna do it, whoever you're attracted to, be attracted to them, but let it be even across the board. Don't say it's okay for you to do something and not the next person.
Right.
But the thing about it, like, all right, let's say everybody starts swirling. Let's say like all the brothers start making swirl channels, and we not quote unquote. Let's say we not quote unquote cyberbullying. We not quote unquote speaking bad about black women. Let's say and I'm sure it may be some channel like Mad Bus Driver. He's another channel that did this.
Shout out to Mad Bus Driver X, man.
All he said was, brothers, get out the hood. Like, I can't quote every one of his videos, but the overall message that I got from him when I was like really heavy into his channel, hey, brothers, like, explore your options. That's what I got from it. I mean, now they could take it and say, oh, it's just saying, you know, they hate black women, or they saying don't date black women. But let's say we clean that image up and say, we just promoted swirling like y'all promoting it. Now, it creates like a level of satire that makes it hard to censor, because you can't censor, they can't censor you without censoring themselves. If we using the same verbiage, we using the same language that they use. But like I said, we ain't even got to go that far, but that's just me on some troll shit. Like, I could find different ways to troll motherfuckers that I get a kick out of it, because it was something I never was able to see before, but now that I can see that shit clear as day, it's just funny.
Right.
Like I'm telling you, like when brothers start moving into vlogging and start documenting they daily life, not daily lives, but whatever they do. If you go out of the country, take some pictures, take some videos of your trip or whatever. If you in a club, if you for the PUAs or the brothers that's trying to teach game, start showing that. And you ain't even gotta have a script or a whole theme to your video. You could just, it could be a literal video like, hey, we over here right now.
Yo, it's funny because I just did that. I started a new channel called Single in Minneapolis, right?
Yeah, I'll subscribe to that too.
And I uploaded footage of 2016 Fall Fashion Week, and also Solo TV. I also uploaded. We was live yesterday. It was me and Brother Genuine. We was out in the field, so.
Is that's up now, or that's on Genuine channel?
That's on my second channel, man, on Solo TV 2.0, man. So you know what I'm saying, like I'm doing different things, and it might have the swirling sisterhood even more mad.
That's the thing. Once you don't even have to have a discussion with the audience. You could just doing, and once they catch on to that, they'll try to censor that. Like don't stop. It's just a witch hunt. You know what I'm saying? And one thing, it's another way you could look at it. Jap already said, if you ain't on the list, you ain't popping. But if you are on the list, take it as a compliment, because censorship is the new promotion. Like every person that I've seen within the last year, especially like with all this political tension from last year's election, like the more you banned and the more people try to censor you, the more you're gonna have alternative audiences looking for it. They're gonna check for you, like, all right, well, who is this? Why are so many people trying to ban them? So I would say I agree with what they're saying. If you're on the list, then you're doing something right. And you look, this is another thing. I know they gotta listen to conversations like this. That's it may be an extra dislike, but it's still an extra view. You know what I'm saying? Facts. I don't really see this being a setback at all, especially and I'm quoting Angry Man when he said it, like his brothers that either wasn't rocking with each other or didn't even know of each other. I'm still subscribing to channels on that list. I'm still like doing my back homework on them, because it's channels I ain't never heard of. And that's promotion. So we got to thank them for that list. You know what I'm saying?
No, it is. My subs have gone up, and you know what I'm saying, I've had people say, yo, I signed up because you're on the list. And to me it's like, at first I was kind of like, what? But now it's cool with me, because if these you can't, you know what I'm saying, if you've awakened the beast, you know what I'm saying, brothers is going in hard. And you know what, I got 50 swirling videos on deck that I'm working on now as we speak.
You're trying to get
I'm gonna just upload them. We're gonna call May the Swirl month. It's just gonna be like every video is gonna be something about swirling, ice cream swirling, basketball swirl, whatever, man. It's
if you want to be a real troll about it, bro, just name your shit with the same language they would name.
That's what I
look, you can't censor. You can't censor somebody. They can't censor you without.
They got a book called The Secret to Getting Asian Man. I got a book out, The Secret to Getting Latina Women. Let's work on that, man.
Yeah, I got it, man. I got to step my Espanol up. I'm with that.
Yeah, now I'm saying we're gonna have a live stream. I'm gonna get one of these Spanish girls to teach us Spanish, and every brother come on the stream, and she's gonna teach us Spanish. You know what I'm saying? We let's get into that, man.
Hey, I just opened the chat. I just want to give a shout out to Char Willie. I see she just I owe her, man. I owe her a couple of cups of coffee. And shout out to Dark Man Jeff. I see you. What up, chat?
Let me shout out to everybody in the chat. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. And I appreciate. I gotta thank you again for even having me on. Like we was talking offline. Bro just followed me on Snapchat. He's like tweaking up.
Hey Marcus, your Snapchat was lit, man. Yeah, your Snapchat.
I fell back from the YouTube, but Jap told me I need to get back on this shit, and I'm like, all right, well, I just got to play catch up, bro, because I like what's going on, but if you look at my channel, like my most recent videos, the ones that I ain't made private, I kind of headed more in a direction of style and fashion, like men's fashion, and
Right.
travel. Like I do Snapchat compilations. I be on Snapchat and Facebook more than anything else. So
Right.
if I do a YouTube video, it's usually a compilation from some on another platform.
Right. Nah, and also you're doing politics now too, so you've really expanded your repertoire. You know what I mean?
I'm still in tune with the manosphere. Like I'm always supporting. I'm always go where I'm wanted in a sense. But I think what's going on with not only the YouTube censorship, but with the newfound haters that we got, like all it's doing is bringing more attention to the community. So that's a good thing.
And you know, I don't think they expected this to happen.
I'm laughing at Jeff.
They didn't. I don't think they expected this to happen, especially Lizard 56. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's the real ringleader, in my opinion. Because like I said, I wanted to speak on it, but I was hesitant because for one, I wasn't on the radar. I wasn't on the list. But then also I wanted to do my homework before I spoke on it. But I'm real pleased. I'm real happy to see brothers pushing forward, and I'm glad that it was almost like a collective awareness. Like everybody already knew what to do. So brothers just like everything is just kind of booming. You know what I'm saying? It's booming more than it was, and it's gonna happen in intervals. Like it'll die down for a while. Things will take its own direction, but all it takes is situations like this to unify brothers.
Right. Yeah, and I think that's what it's doing, is unifying brothers, and you know, is making brothers go harder. You know, I see Jat now, he's putting up 2-3 videos a day. O'Shea's going in, everybody's going in harder. You know what I'm saying? And me personally, like, it's cool because, like I said, I'm in the cut, I'm working hard too. But at the end of the day, like, I just find it ironic that these same women that are so happy swirling or whatever it is they're doing feel the need to, you know, have black men in their mouth. You know what I'm saying? Pun intended.
Triggered, bro. It's first right to refusal. That's all it is.
Well, they can refuse their ass out of here then. You know what I'm saying? You know, refuse these nuts.
Sometimes people create their own self-fulfilled prophecy. So, you know, I take a perfect example. If everybody been focusing on infighting, like it was channels that was getting into it, the other channel, that was part of the reason I fell back from the manosphere. Like, and I'm talking about the black manosphere, the manosphere. Everybody was just kind of taking little shots at each other for whatever reason.
Right.
Once they did what they did, like everybody just got back on track. Like, hold up, you know what I'm saying? It's almost like family get into it with each other, but they ain't gonna let an outsider come and disrespect their own. They're gonna be like, hey fam, this my family though. It ain't finna happen over here. And that's
right.
That's kind of the way that I see it. And as far as like swirling, wasn't nobody talking about swirl. Like wasn't nobody in the manosphere other than maybe Tommy and Mad Buzz Driver. Wasn't nobody really pushing it like that. They was really raising awareness about issues in the black community. But shit, now brothers might consider swirling, whereas they wasn't even thinking about it beforehand. I'm out here, man. I've been in rallies and all type of shit, looking at different qualities of women from other ethnic backgrounds. So now I'm like, let me get my swirl on shit. I'm out here. I need to get out of Chicago, see what the Minnesota girls looking like.
Hey yo, I'm not gonna lie, man. Me and Brother Genuine, we was out in the field last night. Minnesota girls are getting stupid thick, man. It's crazy. These girls are getting. I was shocked. I mean, these girls had ass. You know what I mean? Black girls, white girls, it don't matter. They all are packing. I was shocked. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. I mean, they're eating their eggs and bacon. I'll leave it like that.
They eating Harold's and Uncle Remus out here, and it's some thickness out here too. But man, you just got to catch them at the right time, because the thick chick from 2016 might be the fat chick in 2017, or vice versa. You know what I'm saying? That they could flip script too, and that's a whole nother subject with the trying to figure out if it was organic or not.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Now, I don't know. And nowadays, you got to be careful, too, because all them girls is getting them butt injections.
Yeah.
You don't know, is that booty real or not? You know what I'm saying?
It could be a conversation starter, but half the time, that'd be a real question. Like, shorty, I'm trying to know, like, what's up?
Oh, because the booty is too stacked, too perfect. I'm telling you. And they wearing, them jeans now.
I could respect. My bad, go ahead.
They're wearing these really tight, I don't know, like them 70s tight, really tight jeans and really show off the butt. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like and they got the yoga pants, man. I'm telling you, man, these women were not this stacked a couple years ago. I can tell you that, man. Things change. I blame it on the Kardashians.
Basically, yeah. That's what I was gonna say. Like, it's artificial ass everywhere. Like, from that ain't just the ratchets. That's like every class of chick. It exists in every crowd. Let me put it like that. I mean, you got some organics. I'll be going to the gym seeing some chicks with all different nationalities. They be putting in that work. But if I don't see them in the gym, then I'm suspect. Like, if I don't see them in the gym every day, I'm wondering, like, she must have took a trip, or she must know a back alley injection therapist or some shit. They got all type of pills and supplements that motherfuckers could take to change their body. But if you end up getting addicted to that type of stuff, that's affecting your health. Like, or let's just say you have a baby with a chick. Let's say you wife somebody and have a shorty. Like, you want your shorty to be somewhat. You want them to resemble the mama, or you be like, damn, this motherfucker don't look nothing like like your mama got an ass. Why you out here looking crazy? Or motherfuckers get nose jobs and face jobs. Like, you don't know who you having shorties with no more.
Right. Facts. I mean, we got a question.
Yeah, I was
chat
that too.
I'm gonna let you actually answer, but Darkman Jeff asked Solo, I know you preach about SYBM movement, save yourself. You forgot the S. Save yourself, black man movement. Can you elaborate on it, and how does it compare to MGTOW? Marcus, are you familiar with SYSBM?
No, I was just about to ask what that stood for, but I got it now. Save yourself.
Yeah, it's save yourself, black man. I mean, it's basically Mad Bus Driver X started it, where basically he's talking about traveling, get your travel on.
Okay.
Don't deal with the lizards, the ratty ones. This and that. Now, me personally, I never. Now I'm saying, I wouldn't say I'm part of the movement, but I am affiliated, of course. I'm not gonna lie. I don't really see much difference between that and MGTOW. The only difference is that there aren't a lot of rules, and that's one of the issues with MGTOW. Is sometimes I watch MGTOW guys on their streams, and these cats is beefing with each other. You know what I'm saying? On their streams. With SYSBM, it's more so about you doing you. And I could be wrong, but I don't. But that's what I get from it. And me personally, I just do me. I'm not. No disrespect to nobody. No disrespect to MGTOW, SYSBM. No disrespect to IPMOR. None of them. I just do me.
Right.
That's all I'm gonna say, man. You know what I mean? And because what happens is that sometimes, and this is one I'm gonna keep it real, Marcus. This is one of the reasons why I'm affiliated with MGTOW. I'm affiliated with SYSBM, and when I say I'm affiliated, it means that MGTOW has a lot of things I like, so I take from that shit. Just like PUA has a lot of things that I like, I take that shit. But coincidentally, PUAs and MGTOWs don't really get along much. Until recently, I guess Sandman squashed the beef. Well, on his, you know what I'm saying? But if you look at it, I take from both. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I do. Like, I'm a hybrid version of everything. Huh?
No, I was saying that's what you should do. I'm on the same page with you on that.
Right. You know what I mean? So that way it's like people can say, oh, he's a little bit MGTOW, he's a little bit PUA, he's a little bit SYSBM, he's a little bit of IPMOR. And that makes me, in my opinion, that makes you a more lethal version because you're the best at everything.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's just my opinion.
My thoughts on it. Like I said, now that you mentioned it, I have seen that hashtag before. I didn't know it was Save Yourself Black Man, but I just look at the manosphere as an atmosphere for men, and it's always been different tiers, different sectors of the manosphere. Like I said, you got and I can't even keep up with it. You got the SYBM now. Before that, you had PUAs, you got the MRAs, men's rights activists, MGTOW, the Black Manosphere. Everybody kind of, even at times when we got common ground and we speak in the same language, everybody have they different positions in this spectrum.
Right.
Some people are extreme in all of these sectors, but my philosophy, I agree with you on that. Like, I kind of subscribe to some of everybody. I don't want to limit myself to one box,
right.
You know. Now, like a lot of my videos, especially my older ones, you'll see MGTOW all throughout it. I got like a nostalgic perspective with MGTOW, because I like the label personally. It kind of identifies, it classifies, it describes how I want to live my life. But as a label, that kind of create this umbrella for all type of people to just kind of have behind it. And by being so ambiguous, you can't really say somebody's not a MGTOW unless they just absolute blue pill. Like, you can make arguments like people being married, people really deep into placing themselves in all these blue pill type situations. But I mean, it's really ambiguous, and it should be, because it ain't no CEO or no leader. It ain't no cult like that. But it creates a situation where motherfuckers can have behind it. So and this goes, and I'm gonna say this too, like for every aspect of the manosphere, whether brothers want to say it or not, like from my experience, everybody got to feel each other out on a one-on-one basis. Like I've met brothers from the manosphere, from the black community. Some like Jap, I know him personally. I knew him from the rap game. It's brothers from the forums, and I'm talking about just MGTOW, that I've met. If anybody coming to Chicago, and it's just in general, if anybody that's rocking with me come to Chicago, I'm gonna try to meet and greet with them. I'm gonna look out for them. But it's always, and it's funny to see it, but it's always like a process of figuring out who you're dealing with. Like, you want to know, am I talking to a dude who really has a story? Like, you start talking to people and you be like, all right, well, I understand how this brother got to this point. Maybe he had a divorce. Maybe he had a very promising life and an ideal life, you know, by society standards, and he just fell from that grace for whatever reason. And you got some people that are genuine lames and genuine fuck ups, or they just they fit the stereotype for what people who don't agree with the MGTOW philosophy will want to paint us all as, you know. So on an individual level, you kind of gotta get a feel for who you dealing with anyway, and then you're gonna ask yourself, like, do I want to be aligning myself with this motherfucker or not? But overall, I feel like if you got a channel, I'm gonna check you out, and I'm gonna take from it what I value. I ain't gonna try to flag you. I ain't gonna try, like, if a motherfucker talking too crazy for me, I'll just unsubscribe. And you never know, like, ain't no sense in censoring. You can't censor an idea, and that's something that the flaggets don't understand. Like, once this idea is out in the open, it's like Inception. Like, you plant a seed and it grows. Like, you can shut down the messenger, you can shut down the channels, but once that idea is out there, you're not finna get rid of that idea.
Right.
And the same can be said about feminism. The same can be said about gynocentrism. Like, all the things that we combating against, all that is an idea. And we have to, and what we're doing right now is a counterculture to that. But now that it's got a platform, and it's been around long enough to where it ain't going nowhere. It ain't going nowhere. Like, even if YouTube shut down, it's just gonna move somewhere else. Even if we don't have locker room talk or barbershop talk, like, brothers gonna find a way to communicate these messages to each other. And that's what I think scares a lot of women in general. Because let me say this too, women scare the shit out of other women. For real, like, and I could relate to this. That's why I try not to go so hard on them. because I understand how the female pecking order works. Like women's pretty much scare other women. They don't do it for the right reasons. Like you don't really see the social shaming for being a mother and I'm not bashing single mothers for being single mothers in and of itself, but having kids you can't afford in general. Like if it was a woman who had a child with a deadbeat and they was together, we can't technically call them single mothers, but I could still say, hey, that wasn't a good decision because you place yourself in a situation now you place your shorty in a situation to where you just like fucked up when you ain't have, that's like a disservice to your shorty.
Right.
Having kids that you can't afford, but you know, like we used to have that type of shaming in the community. We don't have that no more, but women will shame and scare each other when it comes to things like MGTOW or Black Manosphere or even brothers with money or brothers with status. Like when I hear female, let me know if I'm rambling, bro. I could go on and on, but
I know. Well, Marcus, I gotta cut this short because I gotta go to that meeting I was telling you about, player. So you know, but we definitely got to get up again, bro, and do a part 2. I apologize for cutting you off, fam, but you know,
that's cool.
You know what I'm saying? And you know, everybody subscribe to Marcus' channel. You know what I'm saying? That's the Marcus Brown Experience, right?
Yeah, the MAB Experience on YouTube.
MAB Experience.
Experience or the MAB Uncensored. That's the backup channel. But what's going to end up happening is I'm gonna keep this channel that I'm on now, and I'm gonna just kind of keep it PG-13. But if you look on my front page, on the home page in the playlist, you'll be able to see all of the uncensored content or the reposts. And another thing, like I'm just throwing this out there for anybody that's any content creator that's listening. I welcome people to mirror my videos. That's another way that you could combat censorship. Every content creator may not want to do that for monetary reasons, but I don't really do the YouTube thing for the money. It's more like getting the message out. But if anybody want to copy my videos, do that, because with the people that's flagging your channels, if you act as the main hub and you got people mirroring your videos, they're gonna be it's a wild goose chase. Like they'll spend all day trying to flag content and they'll know where it's coming from. They just won't know where it ends up. And I think that's another way to effectively combat that shit. But you know, MAB Experience, that's the channel for now, and it's MAB Experience without the THE on Twitter, Snapchat. You just look up Marcus A. Brown.
Yeah, follow Marcus on Snapchat. His Snapchat is more lit than mine, man.
Yeah, it's less censorship on Snapchat for right now. I mean, because like I've been in Facebook jail a couple of times myself, so I ain't really new to the flag game. I just ain't make it on this list because I ain't really that heavy on YouTube.
Right. All right. Well, Marcus, we appreciate you. We'll have you on again next time. Shy Willie, what up? Darkman Jeff, what up? Millsap Rhodes, Killer Red. You know what I mean? Shout out to Bronze Beauty. Shout out to everybody, man. And I got a dip. I apologize. Stay tuned. More to come. And we out. Peace.
Peace, y'all.